Yo, what's good, everybody? We about to showcase a mix before and after. I'm gonna bypass the effects on each and one of these instruments. I mean, each and one of these tracks, and I'm gonna show you what goes behind the scenes of mixing and mastering, my process, show you everything right here. For the ones who would like this template, let me know certain routing that I have done that I seen that works for me could work for you. If you're interested in that, just comment. Um, I'll leave the links to some of these templates. This is not my only template though. But without further ado, I'm gonna bypass this real quick. Okay, all the effects are bypassed, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on in this project. So let me close some of these folders, and we're gonna play it how it sounds right now. We're gonna play from a section right here, and we're gonna bypass the effects. All right, so let's dive into it right now.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame 'cause the game not easy. See they doubt soon they see me on the TV. But it doesn't steady creeping. Falling like a madman. Text it, text back.
All right, so as you can see, like the audio sounds very low. The reverb is more dominant as I hear, and there are some vocal phrases that are peaking more outside of the constant vocal volume that's at the bottom, which is the lead. So majority of the ad-libs are popping out. So I'm gonna undo this, what I've done, and this is how it was. Let me just do one more. Okay, so we should be good right now. And we're gonna play it again.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame 'cause the game not easy. See they doubt soon they see me on the TV. But it doesn't steady creeping. Falling like a madman. Text it, text back. Saying that you're gone.
Um, yeah. I mean, I heard something right there, but I gotta get a better setup and fix up my mic. But we're just doing it quick off the dome and stuff. So, all right, before and after, we're gonna go over my effects. Okay, so this is the auto tune that I'm using. The Waves real time mono because I recorded in mono and my vocal is in mono. As you can see, this is a mono track. The way I had to indicate the difference between a mono and a stereo would be that this is just one whole line, but with the stereo, there's a top and a bottom, which are both the left and right channels. So that's the difference between that. So this is mono, as you can see, it's one straight line. And what we're doing on this one with my effects is my retune speed is at zero point 0.1 and my note transition is at 18.2. However, these technical stuff it doesn't really matter. It's more of a creative creative thing that I've done. And with me doing that, that's the type of sound that I've got with it. So if I bypass this effect right now, you would see what happens to my voice. So I'm gonna take it off and we're gonna listen to what it sounds like. All right, we're gonna listen to it.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame 'cause
All right, and then we're gonna run it back with the effect on.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame, could have gave not.
Okay. Sounds a little bit more tightened within the no transition range within the key of the auto tune. It sounds more tighter. And then next plugin that we got is a compressor. I mean, it's doing a lot of stuff actually. So this is doing compression, de-essence. This is probably the EQ dip. Yeah, this is the EQ, but I'm not really using this, so I didn't touch this. So with this effect, what it's doing is
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame, could have gave.
this effect is catching the early peaks of the vocals, the transients is catching those, making it more smoother towards my liking. So I'm molding the vocal how I would want it to sound in the track. Basically, with compression, it gets kind of weird if you can't really hear it. So you have to understand what the fast attack does and the release does because there's a type of effect that I use the compressor for based on timing. So based off how the timing would be within the track, I would use the attack in a certain way just to make sure that some words are more they're more tighter rather than me nudging it over, which I found out that that works for me, and that's how I learned to use the compression. And with the release now, it also helps me make some of the N-word phrases mm, more present at the end because sometimes when you talk, your words, the energy in the words, they go up in the start, and then at the end of the sentence, it falls down shorter in the energy. So if I could maintain that ending part with a little bit more energy in it, then that's what I'll use the release for, just to maintain that kind of presence. So that's how I use the compressor. Cool. And on the next track, we got vocal EQ. Um, I mean, people gonna be like, "Why are you boosting?" I guess. I mean, this is how I decided to use the track, how I like to use it, and this is where I rocked with. So we're gonna bypass these and see what the ranges of the 4, 5, and 6 are doing, and I'll show you and explain to you why I done what I did.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Ain't no shame, could have gave not easy. Seen they doubts when they see me on the TV.
All right, so as we can see that this is on, however, it's not going up like these are going up. So this range is being dynamically EQ'd down, and these are being boosted up. One, one again, and this is three, just for some brightness. This is the brightness range. This is the presence range, and this is also like a clarity range as well, which I learned with my voice. Um, but this now is dynamically deducting some of the mid frequencies. So I'm gonna solo this, and we're gonna hear what type of frequency range is it doing. Like, what is it doing?
Say I'm out of Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go.
So as you can hear, it's kind of like a boxy frequency that's being like deducted. And with these frequencies now,
Say I'm out of love.
That's also a bossy frequency. However, I'm boosting this up a little bit more since I'm deducting this. So there's a certain part of that frequency that I think, excuse me, will be better. So that's why I'm adding a little slight boost right here. Also, as well at the five. Let's see.
Say I'm out of
You hear how it's a little bit more spiky, a little bit more peaky. It's like it makes you notice it more. So basically, the idea that I get from this is for it to be more noticeable. Same way if you was to hear somebody cry like a kid or something like that. I heard this analogy somewhere. I'm not too sure where I heard it from, but this is kind of the range of where you would hear that cry of the baby in a way. So this has more like it has more. I don't know how to explain it, but you will have more awareness of this type of frequency. So that's why I boosted this a little bit more. I mean, it's a it's a taste thing as well, but also because of what I'm thinking about as well. And with these, the 18 to 16K is mainly an air presence. Air is basically making your track seem more open rather than it being um low frequency dominated. It's kind of like the fresh air plugin, but I'm not using the fresh air plugin. I'm just boosting it right here, and we're gonna see.
say I'm out of love.
Yeah, just that's just what it is. And then next and foremost, we are also using a sibilance again. So as you can see, we had a de-esser in this, which is it's de-essing. But since I'm shaping the frequency and doing what I'm doing, every time I'm doing something, I'm just tweaking it up just to put it back to what it was, kind of keep the same type of presence that I had before. But I'm not trying to do too much where the change is noticeable. So next is the de-esser, the regular de-esser plugin, which is sibilance by Waves. And with that now, let's see what we're doing.
Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's already shown. You're better alone. Say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She's
I mean, like you would hear that the vocal has some type of like hiss at the bottom of it, I guess, in a way, some noise, but I don't really care about that because you can't really hear it within the beat. And sometimes I leave that white noise in it, similar if I was to use an analog style VST just to add that, but I'm keeping it in. I could take it out, but it doesn't really matter. And then after the sibilance again, I'm adding another compressor to bring up that feel and make it do what it do.
say I'm out of love. There's nowhere to go. She
As you can see, the first whoa, 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 whoa. As you can see, the first compressor, it was doing like -10, -13 in deduction. And this one is doing about 3 to 6, 3 to 5, because I don't want to make the compressors work too hard. So yeah, that's what's happening right there. Um, so this is just my vocal chain right now. I mean, and then after the LA2A, we're gonna see what I added again. I just have one more de-esser just cause my voice it got a de-essing. It needs to be de-essed. So um yeah, certain parts that I talk in. That's what I'm trying to see if I upload this video. Should I also mix it? But I don't really see a purpose in it because I'm showing you the differences between those two. But you know how, man, I don't really care about what the people gonna say. Cause I'm showing you the information. If you don't want to take heed towards it, then that's just what it is. I can't satisfy everybody, and I gotta make it easier for my own mental bandwidth. So that's my vocal chain right here. Autotune, compression, de-essing, EQ, de-essing again, compression, and sibilance. And to make the vocals stand out a little bit more, I'll just add reverb to make it fit in there, just to suit the beat, make a atmosphere around the vocals, so as well that I don't have to keep on adding all these elements to try to mold the sound around it. Because once the sound sounds a little bit clear, then it's okay. Well, so this is just the first episode of this. 15 seconds, well, 15 minutes. If anybody wants the template, let me know. Anybody needs a mix and master, let me know. I'm doing one-on-one sessions. So if you have any tracks and stuff like that, you could book a session and we could go over your project and we could do it and we could understand the elements in your track as well to see what can make it better. If that's something that you're up to, but it's also good to like have live feedback rather than waiting and stuff. And yeah, so this is my video. This is the mix session. That's my photo. I put my face on it. I mean, it's an old photo, but you know what I'm saying. I think it's still handsome or whatever. But you know what I mean. I gotta let you know. I gotta let you know. But appreciate you for joining in, and that's the end of that video. Adios.